Well, it was about time. Chelsea 1, Leeds United 0. And much like the rest of you, I'm assuming, I've almost forgotten what it's like to not only score, to not only get a clean sheet, but to get a win is something that is so alien, so unusual with this Chelsea side. And even then, it still wasn't quite necessarily the convincing. I'm not going to put a downer on this game. I'm absolutely ecstatic that we finally got a result. But there were bits here and there that would lead me to believe that we're still far in the woods right now, and by no means are we out of the woods just yet. No less, this geezer right here. But fantastic performances from individual players. Substitution decisions, just a little bit dicey as ever. We'll start, and I know we've won, but I'm not going to start throwing around ridiculous numbers here and there. Kepa, I thought, was fantastic, but I am going to give him a 6. Just because I know we've won. We can't forget, of course, that this was 17th place Leeds United. And whilst it is a breath of fresh air and a fantastic feeling to finally win, finally score, finally get a clean sheet once again at the Bridge, there's still a lot to improve on still. There is still a lot to improve on. Wesley Fofana, hands down, deservedly, deserves the 8. Not just for the goal, but for his defensive efforts. It was fantastic throughout the entirety of the game. As was the back 3 as a whole, and 6 for me in this regards, it's still like a fairly good score. I'm not going to start throwing out 7s, 8s and 9s to every single player just because we've won a game. But I thought Badiashile, Koulibaly still very, very good. Koulibaly at times, it's always the passing back to Kepa that just grinds my gears. Like I think it was either Badiashile or Koulibaly, one of the two, playing it back to Kepa and nearly putting us in the mud, nearly causing us to concede. And we hadn't even scored at that point. But still, in the entirety of the game, for the most part, faultless, bar a few bits here and there. Loftus-Cheek, again, joins the 6 club. I feel like could be a 5.5, could be a 6.5. Again, it's just playing in the 3-4-3 formation. Who would have thought, eh? Who would have thought reverting back to a formation of which, for the most part, during our Champions League winning era, was instrumental. The back 3 or 5 at the back, however you want to look at it, just seemed so much more fluid. The game just seemed so much more fluid. There seemed to be a plan. Finally, it looked like there was something, and we've had to revert, like I say, to our former formation. Kovacic, skipper today, he's earned a 6.5, probably worthy of a 7, honestly, but I'm going to go for the 6.5 just again because we weren't still that convincing. It took a lot of doing in the end to get it over the line. It also took Leeds not being the best. I know they beat us 3-0 earlier on in the season, but they were by no means the side that they were earlier on in August. Enzo Fernandez, I'm going to give a 5. This might cause some divide, but I'm just not convinced just yet. I'm still very much a fan of his. I think he's got a lot to learn. I think he's got a lot to give, a lot to provide, a lot to show off in his talents. The talent's there, no doubt, but in the way that we're playing, the way that we are forming our chances, and he is one of those players that should be forming chances. He's done it with João Felix with the goal against Fulham, but I'm just not convinced just yet. It's not been the best of times for Enzo Fernandez over the last couple of weeks. The same goes for everyone, which is why I'm only going to go with a 5. One of the more weak links in the side so far today. Again, another one that might create some sort of divide, and this whole Chilwell agenda that I have and whatnot. But I'm going to give him a 7. I thought there were times throughout the first 20 minutes or so, and I was saying to people on the watch along here on Chelsea Fan TV that it was going to be one way or the other. I thought he was going to have either a stinker because he nearly got booked within like 5-10 minutes. And I said, like, he's going to either be instrumental, influential in this game for Chelsea, and he was just that. He was an absolute menace down that left-hand side for Chelsea, and his talents were, put to use. I think he had 100% record in his 3 corners taken. He got the assist on that left-hand side, by all accounts, and just a really good game. It started a little bit rocky for him, but overall I thought just a good game for Ben Chilwell. Overall, we're starting to, in this one game, maybe seeing the likes of what Chilwell can provide. Sterling, I thought maybe even worthy of a 7 for me. I thought he was excellent to watch. That cutback pass to João Felix, who was unfortunate really to with his first time shot not get that on target. Well, he got it on, hit the underside of the bar. Really, another chance that we should have been putting away. We had a chance before then, of course, of Kai Havertz, which we'll go into in a second. But yeah, I thought Sterling down that right-hand side, really, really good. Really good. Starting to, see, again, if he starts playing like this, if he plays like this against Dortmund, if Chilwell plays like this against Dortmund, we might stand a chance. I'm not putting all my hopes into it, but, we are 1-0 down. There is hope. But with this win, I'm not going to necessarily be like, well, we can beat Dortmund now. It's not going to be as simple as that. Fingers crossed, though. And then for João Felix, I think it might be a little bit harsh, but I am going to give João Felix a 5 just because, again, not really seeing the likes of what he was when he first joined. I think that's me more being sort of, pinpointing him specifically because we know the talents he has. He's not quite been as good as of late. Again, much like any of the other players. But for his talents and what he can provide, what he has provided for Chelsea so far, I think that he's lacking a little bit. He's lacking just a little bit. And then as ever, I'm going to give Kai Havertz his obligatory 5 out of 10 because, no offence to him, he did have a one-on-one chance, the first chance of, a clear-cut chance that we know he's got the finesse and the quality to put that in the back of the net. And although Meslier was hot off the line, the defence were all over him, he's still got to be making more of that opportunity. And again, nothing against him in the sense of Potter keeps choosing him. So, he's not going to be like, no, don't play me. But I'm just going to keep giving him a 5 until we actually start playing an out-and-out striker up front. And by this point, Havertz has played so many games as the designated striker that he should be being more clinical. Do you know what I mean? More effective in those situations, and he just isn't. He by no means did he have a bad game. I feel like a 5 is harsh in the scheme of things, but for the role that he's playing, I'm just going to keep giving him a 5 because I'm sick of it. Much like the rest of you, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sick of Havertz playing as our striker. Aubameyang just gathering dust. What happened to David Fofana? If he's injured or not, who knows? But yeah, who knows? We'll have to wait and see what happens on Tuesday. But for now, all I know is that Chelsea have finally won a game. It's off to Dortmund or to Stamford Bridge to play Dortmund. It's 1 goal. We need 2 goals to win. We need to not concede as well if we do score those 2 goals. Is that going to happen? Who can possibly tell? No one has a Scooby. Even then, with the goal that we scored today, it's a defender scoring from a set piece once again. Scoring some goals in the outfield play, in the run of play. It just doesn't happen for Chelsea these days. I'm very happy. That said, that we finally got 3 points, but take it with a pinch of salt. It might be good, but I will say lastly on this matter is that on the game where the gaffer's back is against the wall, he needs to win. His job is on the line. His livelihood is on the line. and he wins this game. And I don't think it's down to the grit and determination, because where was this before? It still wasn't convincing. And, you know, of all games for us to win finally, it's the game that keeps his job, from what we've been told. With that said, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/ChelseaFansXI. With that said, my name is Harry. Up the Chelsea. We've won at last. All the best and peace.